What's happening, people? What you need in the building? All right. So we're gonna talk a little bit about politics, and we're also gonna talk a little bit about boxing. Let's start off with the politics. Real simple. People who represent people who are representative of uh, the people in different states, the senators and the congressmen. You need to step up now. People are hurting for money. They're hurting for places to stay. And health-wise, people are hurting as well. Um, you guys need to step up and take measures on the federal level to preserve your representation. Um, I've already said the GOP needs to separate itself from Trump. And people need to get on with the business at hand. In the Senate and in Congress. I'm not going to talk about irrelevant issues. The major issue here is the economic difficulties people are having and the health problems. Those are the two most important issues right now that need to be handled. And vaccines won't save the day. You vaccinate people who are healthy. You don't vaccinate people who are sick. Vaccines don't help people who are sick. So, what needs to be done now? Republican senators and congressmen in Washington, D.C. You have a duty to the people you represent. The governors are closer on the ground. They know what's going on, but they're not in Washington. The needs and concerns of your people are not in the hands of the minority, the loudmouths. The needs and concerns of your people are in the hands of the majority and what they're going through, especially in the states that have high corona spreading. And in the states where people are not working like you used to, and businesses are being closed down, this is the urgent issue. Elections are over. States have been certified. Do your job. Do your job. As congressional people, stop playing politics right now in Washington. This is the foolishness I talk about. And if people lose faith in you, already Donald Trump, thankfully, I want to praise him for this. Not in his false allegations about the election, but he's exposing the politics of these congressional and senatorial people. The governors are keeping it real. The secretaries of state are keeping it real. All of the other people that are outside of Washington, D.C. are keeping it real. The DOJ had no choice but to keep it real. Right now, the elections are over. There is one more election coming up in Georgia, January. And right now, for the congressional and the senatorial people, the senatorial people, not the congressional, the senatorial people have been making great strides, and the congressional people have been making great strides in the Republican Party. Right now, that's being sabotaged by some guy that don't want to leave office. You guys need to get real on what your voters need. And you guys need to get legislature passed. And you guys need to get emergency funds out there, both to stimulate the economy. Try and get it done before Christmas. Show people the Republican Party is about the people. That's why Donald Trump don't care about backing the next two guys in the Georgia electoral race, because they fill their pockets. We all know that. Stop playing games with the American people. You're there to represent them. There are dire consequences to that. It's not just the two Georgia seats. America is waking up. And even the misguided people who are being directed by Donald Trump are opening their eyes and seeing how much of foolishness is happening in Washington, D.C. And looking at the spineless congressmen and senators. They're watching you. And they're realizing you're spineless. You don't have the moral fortitude to carry your office. You're unfit for your office. And they're going to vote you out by letting the opposing party vote you out. That's why Donald Trump ain't got no problem saying that. Like I said, he's real. He actually saying something true. You got to stand for the people. You cannot stand for someone who is yelling at you. You have to stand. You represent the people. All the people of your state. Just because you're Republican doesn't mean that you don't represent the Democratic people there too. Some of your initiatives will be Republican, some of them will be Democratic. Look at the governors. Look how they run states. Look at how the governors do a good job. Because they represent all the people of their state. And you're supposed to be the extended arm of the governors of the state and the legislatures of the state. You're supposed to be the extended representation of that, not some of the people. And you have to do it in line with the truth. The truth is there is a raging pandemic in the United States of America. It's not being under control. And as a consequence of people having to stay home, it's costing them their life. I know in my country, the same thing is happening. And I'm not saying that the government in my country is handling it very, very well. But the point is, you have to be able to address the issues bipartisanly. You get points for that. Because I'm watching at the Republican Party like, what's the use of having them? You might as well just get rid of them. All they do is veto things, and then they just play politics. They're not about nothing. They have no morals, no values. They excuse a guy who was doing all kinds of craziness, and they're ready to come down on the opposition. I mean, you're a joke. You're just a joke. So you better get serious, and you better get busy, and you better get this deal down before December 25th. Give people a Christmas present. Give the people, I don't want to hear about businesses. Give the people. People come first. Businesses are built on people. So give the people something. Give the small businesses something. Give everybody something. All that money you guys been pilfering and stealing and taking. All those deals with lobbyists. Enough of this bullshit. Enough. That's why nobody have confidence in Washington, D.C. Make something happen. You know, middle Americans would tell you, get it done. Get it done. That's why I have no confidence in you guys. They had more confidence in Donald Trump than you because he was an outsider. He talked strong and he tried to get the things done that they needed done. And right now, you guys are failing them. So all you guys want to do is fatten your pockets. You don't care about the American people. And none of y'all are united enough. Stand up and say, okay, the elections is over. Let's roll up our sleeves and get it done. Shame on you. Again, the GSA, in no words less, declared Joe Biden certified president-elect. You have a president-elect. You have the Senate. In fact, Mike Pence swore in a Democratic senator from Arizona. It's on. Get it done. Stop playing around with the people. People don't like that. People don't like when people have been elected and they're messing around and they're not doing things to their benefit. Get it done. Donald Trump is old news. Whoever want to follow him, let him go ahead. Progress forward. Represent the people of the state. People are free to vote whoever they want. They're free to believe whatever they want. At the end of the day, you got to look out for their interests. You're not doing that. Let's talk Errol Spence versus Danny Garcia. And from here on in, I don't want to hear anything about Donald Trump. Okay? Neither good nor bad. Right? However that plays out, it plays out. Right now, there are more pressing issues ahead. Errol Spence versus Danny Garcia. This is the fight I'm going to say off the jump. I give Errol Spence the advantage. So what I mostly talk about here is how Danny Garcia could work the fight into his advantage. From the opening bell, Danny needs to walk down Errol Spence. He has to make Errol go backwards. Yeah, Errol can box well going backwards. He uses good for work and all that, but Danny Garcia got to say, you can't walk through me. I'm going to walk down you. Sort of like what he did with Adrian Granados. Of course, we all know Adrian Granados really is a guy who's a junior welterweight who moved up to welterweight. You know, Danny tried to take it to Ivan Redcat, but Ivan Redcat could take his punches. Ivan Redcat obviously being a true welterweight. So For Danny to get the best advantage in the game, he needs to start walking, try to walk Errol Spence down. Gotta let him know from early. I'm here. I'm gonna get to the mid range. I'm an initiate. Some of the things he did with Adrian Granados were good and will work. He's got to press Errol Spence from the earlies. Errol Spence is equally as dangerous because he can punch. And it will not be easy, but Danny can slip punches. He slides in, he doesn't step in, he slides in. There's a solid base, stays well planted, and his lead right will be a factor, obviously, in the fight. Okay? And even his left hook could become a factor in that fight. Now, Danny needs to start off fast, start off sharp, and he's got to be the bully. He got to push Errol Spence back. He got to. Don't allow Errol Spence to start up and get in his rhythm early, jabbing to the body and all that stuff that he loves to do, and his lead left to the body and feint you top him. Don't let him do that. Make him uncomfortable. Rough him up. Do like Sean Porter. Be a little dirty. Rough him up. Hit him in the balls. Stray a little low every now and then. Errol's very, very sharp. You know? Jerome Ennis and Errol fire their punches just about the same way. They're very sharp guys. But Jerome moves around a little too much. Now, Errol finds his way around on the inside a lot better than Sean Porter does. So, Danny needs to fight at mid-range. But he needs to work behind his jab. Throw that lead right. Depending on which way he's circling, can work in his favor where he gets Errol Spence. When he baits him to come in, and he can counter Errol Spence. So there's the bait and counter that might work for Danny. I hope he works not just his power, but his speed. Danny has good defense, so I'm not worried about that. My major concern is how quickly he can throw a shot. As we say, he needs to steal certain shots. He's deceptively quick. If he can steal certain shots in Errol Spence. The other thing he needs to be able to do very well, if he hasn't done it, cut off the ring. He needs to be on a seek and destroy. His game plan should be seek and destroy. Keep the defense tight, but seek and destroy Errol Spence. You got to get him to push him back. Hands up. Use the shell. Slide in. Slip the punches, counter. Get under his punches, counter. When Errol Spence drops in levels, you drop in levels. You know? Don't let him get too far in. Don't let him get too close. Stick the jab in his face. Danny has a powerful thudding Jab. Errol will look to hook over the jab. Try to keep his hands up home. Jabbing with the left hand. So jabbing with the left hand here. Come down with the right. Ah! Huh? When Errol's trying to sneak in off the angle, same level close to the body. Just lead left, check hook him. Check hook him. And you can come back with the left hand, do it. All right. Errol's very, very sharp. You know. Very, very sharp fighter. He could be in and out of there, you know, off the pivot, coming behind his own jab. But the key, I suggest for Danny Garcia, slip, get under Errol Spence's shots. I'm thinking Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. Slip it one way or the other. So if he comes with a jab or the left hand, slip, all right? As he's spinning out, catch him with the left hook, catch him with the overhand right, by counter him. Once he tries to do offense, counter that. That's the key for Danny Errol. And he got to walk him down. Danny got to walk down Errol. Errol get caught sometimes with lead rights. You don't see. Just like how he get caught with shotgun jab. I don't know if Danny uses the shotgun jab, but that's a good weapon to have against Errol Spence. Catch him with that. And Danny got a hell of a lot more power than Sean Porter, you know? So Errol's advantage is he can fight Danny on the outside or on deep in the pocket. That's where he do his best work. Danny don't want to find himself on the outside. And he don't want to find himself deep in the pocket with Errol Spence. Mid-range. So yeah, I come out like Tyson early. I start trying to find that mid-range. The longer the fight goes on, the greater the advantage Errol Spence has. Now, here's the things that should prepare Danny for that fight. He fought Sean Porter, an infighter. Didn't throw a lot of inside shots. We worked on that game. For the guy fighting on the outside, Keith Thurman. Made adjustments in that fight, but a little too late. So, Danny Garcia He needs to learn from those fights and apply. Lamont Peterson. Boxing him early on, but later in the fight was taken to him. Danny should be ready for that. They say Errol starts boxing him early. But in the later rounds, Errol decides to take it to Danny. He should be ready for that. I think the hardest hitting welterweight today is Danny. But Ivan Redcast survived him. So Errol Spence, if he's healthy, should be able to survive Danny Garcia. Anything should happen in boxing, right? It's up to Danny to quickly find the range. Start fast. Take the fight to Errol. Do what you do: block, slip, roll under, slide to get within range. So you can counter Errol and push him back. That's his best bet to winning the fight. Errol he'll keep his eye on the left hook that Danny Garcia has. He could be susceptible to the shotgun lead right or the lead right of Danny, depending if Danny's working on the shotgun lead right. So if you allow Errol to get in his groove and get comfortable, you're gonna have a lot of problems. So let's say Danny is successful at disrupting Errol. So we all know where Errol's going. It's going to Danny's body. It's up to Danny to kind of deny him that where possible. His defense and also his countering. Just back something of some heat back at Errol. anything strays low, well, Puerto Rican fighter. Well, Cordova, Felix, Trinidad, if they sort of fight with Dream taking from them, they hit you a low blow. And you know them boys could pack a punch. You know? The game plan is, you know, to Eric Spence needs to not try to go all at war. Danny Garcia, that's dumb. But at the same time, he will need to engage Danny Garcia at points. Definitely. If he sees the opportunity to work Danny's body on the inside, go for it. Coming off his jab. But that's going to be a tough fight for Danny. We'll see how it turns out. And what you need. You've been watching my channel. You guys have a good one.